The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. A great game tonight for Julius Randle against the Hawks. He had 34 points, 13 in the first quarter, 19 in the third quarter. And Quentin Grimes with a season-high 23. He was great as well. Knicks with a dominant win. R.J. Barrett and company with their first back-to-back wins in 3 weeks as the Knicks blow out the Hawks tonight, 113-89. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSU studios. Bill Pito, Alan Hahn, and Wally Zerbiak. So Atlanta undermanned, Alan, to begin with. DeJounte Murray hurts his ankle 3 minutes in, but that should not detract from what, again, was a great Knicks defensive performance.
Yeah, so they're missing 3 starters in this game. Well, they missed 3 starters once you were about 3 minutes into this game, but you play who's in front of you, and you got to take care of business on your home court. See, I'm learning, Wally. I'm learning all the things that you've told me to keep in mind, especially in your home court. But they have needed to get to a point where they were playing confidently on their home court, and Julius Randle saw no DeAndre Hunter in front of him, and he went right at it from the very start. Set a tone early, and Quentin Grimes picked up from it, and now this is this 9-man rotation that has defensively gotten after it. Deuce McBride and Quentin Grimes as well, getting after it defensively and holding the team under 90 points. So this is good things to see now. Keep building on this.
Yeah, this is the identity I think the Knicks envisioned having to start the season, being a team that's no fun to play against. You come into the Garden, you're going to have to grind out a win. I think the Knicks are slowing the tempo a little bit down. I noticed Tom Thibodeau, after a few rebounds, going like this, just slow down, slow down. We can get whatever we want against this team in the half court. And Julius Randle, they have no answer for him. And he just absolutely went off. The way he's been playing at the start of games is pretty impressive. He comes out in first quarters, and he gets the Knicks off to a really good start. Jalen Brunson struggled, 2 for 14. Didn't shoot the ball well, and also R.J. Barrett was 4 for 13. So 2 of your starters didn't shoot the ball well, but they did other things. They passed, they defended, they helped hold the team under 90 points, and that's how you win games. You grind out wins like this by playing defense, and I like the way this game went.
2 teams met here in New York November the 2nd. Knicks gave away a 23-point lead. Tonight, Wally, they're up by 18 in the second quarter. Atlanta goes on a 17-0 run to get within 1, but probably the key segment of the game, end of the first half, Knicks stabilize and go up by 12 at the half. Well,
they stabilized because the starters came back in the game. And without those 3 starters that you alluded to, Alan, now that DeJounte Murray went out, without the other 2 guys, Collins and DeAndre Hunter, the starting unit could dominate this game, and that's what they did. It starts with their defense. They're Quentin Grimes running the floor. He's the beneficiary of that easy 2. And it also starts with Julius Randle just attracting a ton of attention and having to double team him and having a monster performance. I mean, he was outstanding, not turning the ball over, getting the ball to the right spots on the floor. He absolutely dominated this game. And this is a good feel-good win. That's 2 in a row for this Knicks team. I like the identity and the rotation, the way it's setting up. You know, Tom Thibodeau is looking really smart with what he's doing. Again, the Knicks doing a great job in terms of holding the other team's field goal percentage way below normal. 37.6% Atlanta shooting overall, and 6 of 36. That is all for them from downtown. We're now joined by R.J. Barrett. R.J., congrats on the win, and thanks for joining us. Tell us about that second quarter. You guys were up 38-20. Hawks then went on a 17-0 run to get within 1, but then you guys were able to stabilize and take a 12-point lead at the half.
I mean, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, a team is always going to fight back, especially a team like Atlanta with their, you know, with their shooting, and you know, they have Trae Young. You knew they were going to make a run, but we were able to, you know, withstand that and play our game, and we ended up getting an even bigger lead.
RJ, I mean, you guys had some struggles at the Garden. How important has it been now, these last couple of games, to feel it again, to feel a win walking off the floor at home?
Yeah, it feels great. You know, we try to always want to give, you know, a win to the fans. Try to, you know, want them to come in here and have fun, you know, as much as we can every single night. As well as, you know, the defense has really picked up the past couple games, so it's been fun to be a part of.
Yeah, RJ, under 90 points the last 2 games. Defense has been outstanding. What has changed? What's the difference in these past 2 performances?
I think just, you know, just locking in on defense, you know, going following the game plan, and I mean, guys like Deuce and guys like Quentin are really playing some great defense for us, as well as the bigs in there cleaning things up. So it's a total team effort.
RJ, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats again. We'll see you Friday night when you guys are at Charlotte.
Thank you.
Of note here, Cam Reddish and Derrick Rose out of the rotation Sunday, out of the rotation tonight. Tom Thibodeau talked just about the entire pregame, all of his comments about this reduced, condensed rotation with Deuce McBride in there, Reddish and Rose out there. Not in there. He thinks this is the best way to win, and there's some evidence that the defense is better this way.
Well, that's exactly, I think, what the rotation, when you look at it, the focus is on defense. And you're bringing in a player like Deuce McBride who can fight through screens, who will stay in front of his man, who is somebody that recovers quickly on screens as well. He's not going to get stuck. And it was interesting what RJ just told us a couple of seconds ago when he said about, following the game plan. I mean, that's as simple as that, about how you play better defense, is having 9 guys who all follow the game plan. If you can trust where somebody's going to be, that part's important. But, Wally, when you look at the numbers, the last couple of games, it just shows you they are making it harder for their opponents to make shots. They get them out of rhythm. And I think the most important number continues to be defensive rebounding. 42 defensive rebounds in this game is a season high for the team.
Yeah, and it seems like the Knicks aren't scrambling as much. They're more in position to get those rebounds.
Right.
They're contesting their threes. I think it's a lot because they're not allowing the ebbs and flows of the game to get out of whack and get too crazy. They're able to set their defense. When they set their defense, they're tough to score on. They're staying packed in. They have Mitchell Robinson protecting the rim. Julius Randle is free to roam and get those defensive rebounds. He had 17 rebounds, 16 defensive rebounds.
Yeah.
That's
monster game.
That's a stat, just phenomenon for you. You're going to be talking about that for the next 3 weeks.
Well, that's
all you talk about is defensive rebounds. So there you go.
It's critical.
16.
That's 16 times they stopped the Hawks.
Yeah.
16 stops.
With a rebound.
That's big.
That's huge. That's huge.
how it works. Yeah, that's how it works. That's why it's important. That's why I keep bringing it up.
It's not a useless stat, Wally.
No, it's not.
When it proves itself correct.
And Julius Randle is doing his job at the defensive boards.
How about on the offensive end of the court, guys? I mean, when Randle, we talk about it a lot. When he starts off like he did tonight with 13 points in the first quarter, it really changes the entire complexion of the rest of the game.
Yeah, he comes out against certain teams. He did it against, I remember the Timberwolves early on in the season. He just said, nobody can guard me out here. And he just gets aggressive. He trusts his three-point shot. He was 3 for 3 from the three-point line in that first quarter, and he just goes into his Kobe game. I call this his Kobe game when he starts pulling up off the dribble and just putting his opponents in the blender and in the torture chamber. I mean, these threes were just on fire. That third quarter, the way he lit up the Garden, 19 points in the third quarter, knocking down the threes, no hesitation.
He had fans behind the Hawks
Look
bench.
at the air under the shot,
Yes,
too.
that's important.
Now, is that an adjustment?
No, it's just
legs.
When you get into rhythm, you just let that thing go. You don't even think about it. Sometimes we see when he struggles, he guides it, and he almost steers it and tries to get it to go in. You just got to float that thing up there, trust your shot. The rotation was perfect. Form looked great. The rhythm in his shot from his legs all the way up to his follow-through just looked tremendous. And, he's pretty tough to guard the way he's been playing the last couple weeks. He's been playing some good basketball.
He has some fans behind the Hawks bench, one wearing a Randle jersey. They were all kind of encouraging him to shoot the three. He hit a couple. He got a heat check at one point, but he was pointing to them. So, again, it's good to also see Julius have some fun with the Garden crowd.
Yes.
That's also important. Get comfortable
Absolutely,
playing here again, feeling good about yourself. But, we remember, the Hawks have been kind of his kryptonite.
Yes.
Remember back in the playoffs 2 years ago, they would play a zone. They were sending length at him, Capella and Hunter, and he just had a hard time finishing. But when you take Hunter out of the equation, Capella's still in the game. Capella's still there to try to, follow him around and make life miserable. But I think the
Capella
addition...
can't guard him on the perimeter.
Well, no, not on the perimeter.
The two guys are Collins and Hunter.
Yes.
Did a good job
But they would send him to Capella. Capella would come and get him a lot. And so you had a lot of that going on.
They would have the rim protector, so they would get up to Julius,
But the Knicks are playing a little bit different now. And without the same bodies, you can't play that same defense for the Hawks. So for Julius, it's recognize what's not out there and take advantage of it. He absolutely did that in this game.
Season high is 36, had 34 tonight. Tom Thibodeau will get his reaction coming up. Knicks now, after the 2 straight wins at home, are 12-13 on the year. We'll hear from the coach when we come back after this.
The Knicks postgame show was presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state area Audi dealer today.
Welcome back, everyone, as the Knicks beat the Hawks 113 to 89. Now won 2 in a row. Looking good. 1 game under 500 overall for the year. Back in our Delta MSG studios, Bill Pito, Alan Hahn, and Wally Zerbiak. Quentin Grimes, 3 and D. We've seen a lot of the D. Tonight we saw the 3. 5 of 7 from downtown, season high 23 points. When he shoots like this, it's a whole nother dimension.
And what you like, too, is that he is the guy that can be that catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. He showed you last year he can shoot 38% from 3. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hands. He knows how to just spot up and be available. But when he does have the ball in his hands, he can be a playmaker as well. As you see right here, I mean, he showed us in the Summer League he has that facet of his game. He wants to do that. But what you love is the defense. I mentioned how Deuce never gives up on a play. Neither does Grimes. He stays moving. There's the catch and shoot that we've been talking about, Wally. And when he can add that element to this team, it changes everything. Like, I love the slashing. I think he can make a little bit of playmaking. But to me, it's when he just can wait outside somewhere and knock down a 3, softens up the defense, and changes the look of this starting 5.
And I love the way he makes an impact on the game without having to dribble that.
Yeah.
I mean, he is so efficient with his dribbles. He makes quick decisions with the ball. He's catch and shoot. If he doesn't have catch and shoot, he's pump fake, couple dribbles, get to the rack, dunk it, lay it in, or find your teammate. He doesn't mess around with the ball.
Yeah, but he's not lost if he has to put it on the floor. Like some guys,
absolutely not. But
he's
not doing anything that's useless when he puts it on the floor. Every time he puts it on the floor, he's doing something with the ball. He's making something happen. He's making the defense move. He's trying to get by his defender. He's a very efficient player, and defensively, he's causing a lot of fits to some really good players. I mean, he was great on Donovan Mitchell the other night. He was great on Trae Young tonight. He's to becoming the Knicks stopper.
And don't forget about Deuce McBride, 6 assists. 6 assists from McBride and playing the great defense that Tom Thibodeau wants and expects. We will hear from the Knicks coach around the corner. But up next, we have the MSG 150. Lots of action to tell you about, including Ja Morant with the greatest of ease.
Dunk that.
Lots of highlights next. Knicks with an excellent chance. Hornets undermanned. Knicks at Charlotte Friday, 6:30. Pregame game at 7. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Go. Julius Randle tonight, 34, and the Knicks blowout win over Atlanta. He's standing by now with Rebecca Harlow.
Julius, this team held Atlanta to 17% from 3 tonight. I mean, that's exceptional defense. What was so effective about the game plan?
Just effort. I think, we knew that we had a lot to deal with Trae and DeJounte, even though he got hurt. But just being in to help on them and then getting out to shooters.
I mean, for you, 34 and 17, but I think what really stands out, the 16 defensive rebounds. Was that a focus for you tonight?
Yeah, I don't really like how I've been rebounding this year, so trying to make a conscious effort a little bit to try to turn it up a little bit. So.
It's fun to watch when you're on like that, but can you describe to us what it's like when you're in that zone where every shot you take, you make, and then on the other end of the floor, you're pulling down rebounds left and right?
Well, I was just having fun out there. Not really thinking, not really, worried about misses or makes or making mistakes, just having fun.
Quentin Grimes was exceptional tonight. He talked about how he finally feels like he's got his legs underneath him after going through the injury. If he plays that well and that efficiently, what's that going to do for this team?
It's huge. It's huge because he competes really well on the defensive end along with Deuce. So it adds a whole new dimension to us for sure.
All right, back now from the corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra. Enjoy every bucket. Hawks didn't enjoy many buckets from 3, 6 of 36. Wally, you're the former player. When he talks about rebounding better, like, can you go through slumps as a rebounder? Like, what does he have to do differently? What did he do tonight? He had 17 rebounds.
Listen, rebounding isn't fun. It's tough. Like, you put your body on the line here and there. You're banging, you're jumping, you're risking kind of landing on someone's foot, and hurting yourself. So, it's tough. And when he's got the ability to be a great rebounder. Sometimes he floats a little bit. Sometimes he lounges a little bit. And you just sometimes as a player have to think rebound because it helps your team. Just the way every time a shot goes up, quickly. He's getting back in there to help his team rebound. Randall has the ability to be a dominant rebounder. Sometimes maybe he feels he needed to just start thinking about going to get that ball every time it's shot. And I think Tom Thibodeau, that's what he wants out of him and Mitchell Robinson. And when they rebound, to your point, and they get stops, that's really demoralizing when you start stacking stops together against the other team. And, you know, Randall innately is a great rebounder. He has great instincts, but just thinking rebound a little more, I think that's what he's referring to. He can take his rebounding to the next level.
And we know he's a guy that averages 20, 10, and 5.
Yeah.
Like he's done that a couple of times now in his Knicks career. 10 rebounds a game. He wasn't doing that. He was just under 9 rebounds a game. He was in the 8 area for a while, and that's what he said. I don't like that. I'm a 20-10 guy. He should be a double-double every night. And so I like the fact that he said, I don't like the way I've been rebounding.
Get hungry.
And that's the part also, I think, is you get that aggressive mentality where you're going after rebounds. And it just, I think it picks up your game.
Yeah.
Like when you start.
It does pick up your game.
You know,
Your
just
overall
adding that toughness
absolutely.
to it. Yeah, and that changes everything with them because he gets a rebound. He takes it. Like he can now lead the break, and it allows him to become a playmaker a couple of times as well. And we saw that in this game, no doubt about that.
And it gets you in good graces with Coach Thibodeau,
Oh, yeah, it does.
who really wants rebounders. Like when you rebound, guards, big men, you know, he gets fired up for that type of stuff, and that's going to help your overall game get you more into the flow for your offensive game to start falling into place.
If you're Obi Toppin or Cam Reddish, right, and you know, like that's how you mentioned the good graces. That's how you get playing time.
Right.
You get rebounds and get in there and get some boards, and your coach will see that, and the minutes will be there.
Yep.
Speaking of minutes, Deuce McBride, guys, played the 15-44 against Cleveland tonight, over 27 minutes of playing time. By far his season. I also had 6 assists. Here he is after the game with Rebecca Harlow.
Deuce, this Atlanta team has only scored under 100 points twice in the last 40-plus games, 89 points tonight. What was the key in your mind of the defense?
I think it was just our energy and our effort. Coach set up a great game plan, and we came out and executed that. So I think, you know, I added a little bit with the communication and just trying to, you know, talk to everybody, make sure we're making rotations, make sure everybody knows the matchups, and just go out there and execute the game plan.
Yeah, and speaking of those rotations, you know, how do you use your length when you're picking up different guys of all sizes out there?
Yeah, I mean, I know I have great length. My arms are pretty long, so I understand that guys that are a little quicker, I got to give a little bit more space, and guys that are a little bit slower with the ball, I can get into a little bit more. So just understanding and using that to my advantage.
6 assists for you tonight. What are you focusing on as you're learning how to run this offense?
Really just trying to get everybody involved. The basketball always has magic in it. That's what, you know, coaches growing up used to say. So getting everybody to touch it, getting everybody to feel, that's how I get into a good rhythm. Seeing others play well, that's how I'm going to play well.
Yeah, and speaking of playing well, Julius Randle was outstanding tonight. What's it like for a guard when you have a player who is finding a zone like that?
Well, it was great. We could tell, you know, Julius came out with a different effort, you know, double-double. He was all over the glass tonight, and, you know, he's taking the easy shot. So, you know, the results will show.
And for you, last one, 42 defensive rebounds tonight. How much pride are you guys taking in the defensive effort? That is a season high, 42.
I mean, it's about getting them to take, you know, harder shots so that we're in the right places to go rebound, make sure we're all blocking out, and then getting up the floor and making plays for each other.
Thanks, Deuce.
Thank you.
I think we have another great line to add to
Magic in the basketball.
vocabulary. Is magic in the basketball, so you got to share it, right?
Yeah, no, that is a great coachism. What did Tibbs always say? The magic's in the work.
Right.
That was the other thing that he would like to say all the time. But this is a guy that embodies that, right? He embodies the work, embodies the idea of, I like to see everybody else get a chance to touch the basketball. It makes me feel good as a player. He had 6 assists off the bench in this game. And it's really more about to me, it's the energy that he brings on the defensive end, his ability and willingness to fight through screens, to play without fouling. He's going to get tested against bigger guards, Wally, you know that. But he's going to give you everything he's got. I just like saying he's like on a leash. And then when he's in the game, you take him off the leash and you let him go, and he's like a bully. He's going after everybody.
Yeah, his compete level is high. And, you know, in college, he played for Bob Huggins at West Virginia.
So you know what he's
and
about.
He didn't mind getting into people. Bob Huggins loves to press, loves to attack. He loves to be the aggressor on the defensive end of the floor, and that's what Deuce McBride does. He doesn't react to what the offense is doing. Obviously, he's going to react with rotations. But when his guy has the ball, he gets right into him, and he makes the offensive player take a step back and be like, wait a second. I can't attack yet. I have to assess what's going on here.
He's obviously a Tom Thibodeau favorite, and he's getting a lot of playing time here of late, making the most of it.
All right, we'll hear from the Knicks coach when we come back. Knicks blow out the Hawks tonight, 113-89. We'll continue after this. Knicks at Charlotte Friday, pregame 6:30, game at 7. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Go. Knicks blow out the Hawks tonight. Tom Thibodeau's postgame comments presented by Chase.
Questions?
When you look at, I'm sorry, you held tonight, your defense held them with 38% shooting, 17% from free. Can you talk about how the defense set the tone?
Yeah, I think it's important. We know how explosive they can be. The start of the game, obviously it changed a little bit when Murray went out, but we know Young puts enormous pressure on you at all times. And Bogdanovich, you're concerned about him, Griffin, Capella going to the rim. So this team, they're very, they put a lot of points up, and they're going to test you when the ball's up on the board. You got to get in a fight, and you got to rebound with them. So I thought we started off well, and we sustained it. We withstood a run they made, but we closed it out well.
Coach, it's back-to-back games. You held teams under 90 points. What are you seeing as the team is executing more consistently?
I mentioned this earlier. Like the big metric for me defensively is defensive field goal percentage, because that you're measuring what you're doing on every shot. Same thing with the three-point field goal percentage. So are we challenging shots correctly? And then are we keeping the ball out of the paint? That's a reflection to me of your shell. And those are things we've been strong in all year. I think we've gotten in trouble some with, when we've turned the ball over, we've been low turnover, but the two previous games we had high turnovers. You put teams in the open floor, they're going to make you pay for that. But I think the thing we want to count on is our defense and our rebounding and low turnovers every night. I think if we do those three things, that puts you in position to win, regardless of how you shoot the ball. Some nights you're going to shoot it better than others. We made 17 threes tonight, so that's a big plus. And I thought a lot of those came off of guys helping to create rhythm for each other. So doing something for someone else, now it's a different shot. So when we play like that, it's going to be good. And it was strong on both sides of the ball. And Julius just had a monster game. So I think that set the tone for us.
Does he know like they're missing obviously their front court starters playing two young guys? You got Julius know, okay, I'm just going to dominate this game tonight.
Yeah, Capella's a lot to deal with. They went big too. With Okongwu and Capella together at times, and so if you're in the league, you're a great player, and that's the way you have to approach it. Everyone's capable of beating you, and you have to play with an edge. I thought he came out and he read the game well. He made a lot of good plays for us. He shot the ball well. I thought he got into a very good rhythm. He made quick decisions and rebounded the ball. He did everything for it. He made a number of really good plays. And when one guy starts doing it, it becomes contagious and leads to other guys doing it. So, we talked about before the game, everyone shares in the responsibility of helping to create rhythm for the team.
You mentioned going out and challenging shooting three-point shots. When Brian says he's helping out, he was the only thing was there after playing. How much of a difference does that make?
Well, I think you can see the combination, the way he plays defense, and he's starting to get his rhythm on offense, and he shoots the three. He reads closeouts well, and I thought Deuce gave us really good minutes defensively as well. And so I think that's important for us. And every night there's going to be guys on the perimeter that are very difficult to guard. So the better we can guard the ball, the better that makes us.
For a guy like Grimes, who doesn't have a ton of experience in the league, every night you're giving him the toughest assignment. Just kind of how have you seen him handle that?
Yeah, no, he's been great. I think you guys, if you can recall from last year, he showed us in his matchups last year how good he was defensively. And so I think he'll only get better and better as he gains more knowledge, and becomes more familiar with each guy, and he's just, he studies, and he's got a knack for it. He's got a tenacity about him. He's a big multiple effort guy, great intensity all the time. The way he plays is the way he practices, so there's no adjustment for him. Some guys practice half speed, and then it's a tough adjustment. And he doesn't. He practices full speed. He's all out all the time.
Is some of that, is he doing a lot of film work to know these guys when he has?
A combination. I mean, he lives in the gym. He's the ultimate gym rat. He's there early, comes late, studies, fierce competitor, and the same could be said for Deuce. And I think those guys give your team a lot of energy and toughness.
ESPN had a stat tonight about Deuce. Just get your thoughts on it. He's the first player in Knicks history with at least 30 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 3-pointers, 0 turnovers in Knicks history in one game. Thoughts on that around?
It's a monster game. I mean, I love the way he played. He played with a great spirit, great intensity. He was strong, offensively in all ways. So it wasn't just the shooting; it was running the floor. It was playmaking. It was, the rebounding was special. And when he plays like that, it's, we're going to be tough to beat. Yeah, no, I mean, and that's probably true in every game. Like there's some shots you challenge really well, and you make them miss. And there's other shots you challenge well, and they can make a shot. And then there's other shots that aren't challenged well that they do miss. And I think that same could be said for us. And was it good defense or do we miss it? And for us and for all teams, I think is it the right shot? Is it a rhythm shot? Is it a drive, pass, rhythm shot, and did you shoot it well? If you shoot it great, you're missing half of them.
You put Tinker with the rotation a couple times this season. These last two games, do you feel like you found something here, or is it?
We'll see. I don't think you ever have it all figured out. I think each day is different. So hopefully we're building the right habits, and we can build and keep getting better. That's the whole goal. Is to improve every day. And so we're getting more information of what, who works well together, how the team functions. And the most important thing is how the team functions. So that has to be first and foremost for everyone.
If Obi's knee keeps him out a few games, what's currently early thoughts about your rotation?
We'll figure it out. There's, I like the idea of RJ being there some. I think he showed us last year how effective he could be at the 4. So that could be a possibility.
Tom, you mentioned stuff about Quentin's physicality as a defender. A lot of young guys are physical when they come into the league, and that leads to overfouling or maybe overzealousness in some kind of way. What is it that you try to impart on young guys who are physical?
Well, I think technique, like fundamentals, I think fundamentals are huge on offense and defense. And I think how hard you play, like you have to earn the respect of your teammates, your peers that you're competing against, and also probably more importantly in terms of how you're being officiated, the referees. I think the referees, once they know you're a hard-playing guy like that, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. And he doesn't foul. He's very aggressive, has great body position, has great discipline. He knows how to challenge shots, and like he flies around the whole time. Like he's everywhere.
Do you see it affecting? Quentin has been really aggressive attacking closeouts too, not just shooting. Do you see that affecting the way that defenses have to guard him?
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, he shot 38 as a rookie, so we already know where that's going. We watch him shoot every day, and I think he knows, like, when teams are flying at him, he's gotten real comfortable attacking the rim. I think that people don't realize how good of a playmaker he is. And he played point guard in high school, so he's comfortable with the ball. We just had, you know, he didn't get a lot of those opportunities last year, but he'll get more as we go forward.
All right, thanks.
Yep, thank you.
Of note here, Obi Toppin played only 7.5 minutes. Knicks say he had a sore right knee. That's why he was limited in his playing time. We will take a look ahead coming up. Wrapping up the post-game show, the Knicks next up. They'll be at Charlotte on Friday, pregame 6:30, game at 7. A win and the Knicks get back to 500. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Go. Knicks beat the Hawks tonight, 113-89, a dominant win. Excellent play from a number of players, including Quentin Grimes, who had a season-high 23. Julius Randle had 34. Time now to join the Rangers game. They're in Vegas to take on the Golden Knights. Here now, Sam Rosen and Joe Micheletti.